What I like about my local area is seeing people enjoying themselves, walking around. Every time I'm in the high street, loads of people talk about my disability, ask me how I'm getting on. I enjoy talking to them about my experiences in this area.
I like the fact that there is a basketball cage and a park where people can play, so there's like a sense of leisure, and there are lots of clubs going on in front of us in Belvedere House too, so there's a plus. There's some people that work there, they're very kind and supportive of your opinions of like the community and everything, so I really appreciate that too.
The area is very nice because it's like very local, and there's like shops and swimming pools and parks near. And there's like different parks like Norwood Green Park, Heston Park.
Lots of activities they do around here that you can do when you're bored and stuff, like the cage, and when you can play like basketball, football, or in the park when you play games that you make up.
Well, Hounslow is trying to be more eco-friendly and cleaner and greener to the environment, and there are also lots of opportunities for young people and children out there.
It's got like lots of flowers.
It's quiet, peaceful, and there's loads of fun activities around here.
I like the fact that it's kind of easy to get around. I feel like in other boroughs, transport isn't as good.
I like how there's a lot of facilities like the leisure centre or the library that's close to us. There's also a park next to us.
There's lots of parks, a lot of free area to walk around, play a little bit of football with friends around, a lot of local people, and a good neighbourhood.
Public transport, you can get to places easy, and like if you want to go somewhere outside, you can get there easier.
There's a lot of people out, and there's a lot of parks around, so it's a very social place.
I like how the streets are all clean and the community is quite good.
It's very diverse. There's lots of different people from different cultures and backgrounds.
The people are so friendly here, and you can just share your all problems with them.
The positive thing about Hounslow is that it's diverse, and there's so many different cultures, backgrounds and ages that are coming together. It's a very nice thing to see.
I have friends over here, so I can go to the cinema because cinema's quite close. I can go out and like do anything. I can come to High Street. So yeah, it's quite fun.
It's just really fun going around here. There's loads of different people who are really kind here.
I got lots of friends to play with.
There's a giant football pitch there where you can play football and just have fun with your friends, and it's open for everyone.
I like loads of things about my local area, but I think a few of the main things would be the sense of community.
I like how we have the treaty centre. It's helpful because there's a lot of shops inside there.
I like that everything's kind of within walking distance because I like to walk a lot, and everything I need is literally within my high street. I mean, the people that I do know here, I mean, they're nice, but there's the other side of Feltham.
It's a nice community. Like there's stuff to do. It's not like a place where there's nothing to do. You have options, like you have Tenpin, you got the cinema, there's places to eat, there's nice places to skate. It's like the ground's nice and smooth, so it's easy to skate on and cruise about.
I like how the houses are very close together as well, so then a lot of the children can play together.
Well, like how everyone's so connected, how I can come out to this cage freely, how I feel safe around this area.
I like that it's very busy and like there's a lot of shopping.
I think what's positive about Hounslow is the fact that they're redeveloping a lot of the areas. So I know that they're getting some new flats. I heard there's going to be a cinema as well, which is really good because it means I don't have to travel as far to go to the nearest cinema.
There's a lot of parks and there's a lot of kind of like football pitches to play on.
For where I live, there's so many like drug dealers outside my house and stuff, so like my parents don't feel safe as well, like letting me go outside after 5. When I was new here, I'm from a different country. Where I live, streets were clean. People understood the fact there are bins and we should put our rubbish in the bin. Whereas here, people find it hard to understand that.
Well, right now I wouldn't mind a bigger leisure centre for younger people, just to do activities and just chill out.
The fears are like if they don't like clean the sea, animals might die. It to be cleaner, fun and more stylish.
Just generally the buildings. I live in one of the flats, not the taller ones but the really short ones, and it's lovely and everything, but the bells don't work, and when we do complain they'll be complaining that we're complaining.
I would like more football pitches in Hounslow.
To make it a bit less loud, because sometimes it's really loud.
To be honest, for this place to get better and for the pollution to stop going around and litter being on the floor.
I would make more parking spaces. More trees.
There's a lot of clubs around, so it gets people involved into more healthier lifestyle and more activities to do around here.
Well, we could make the field pitch at Astro so that like when you fall over you don't get as much injuries.
Some of the fears is mental health. If I had to wait 12 months to get seen by a doctor, just imagine if you have suicidal thoughts within those 12 months. You're going to allow that to develop to an extent where you just kill yourself.
Yeah, I think there's still space of improvement in terms of being more inclusive for people with disabilities, for certain communities that I feel like are being neglected.
And like when people come up to me and make fun of me because I'm a wheelchair user, in the area, loads of people, when I go past them, sometimes they're in the way of my wheelchair, and that's very annoying because they're in the way and I don't have anything to do, and some of them argue with me because they don't move. So if they don't move, I normally have to run them over.
Sometimes the people here, they don't really respect the fact that, some people like a quiet, peaceful neighbourhood, so they'll start being very loud and start coming to your houses and everything, which I wouldn't really appreciate, but I'm sure that it can be fixed soon.
Some of my fears and concerns in the area would probably be not being able to go out at a certain time because of the danger, and how that danger comes from knife crime to people doing drugs around areas that are meant for children and for them to be happy and be playful, but those areas have been changed now.
There are loads of drugs here.
There are lots of smokers, there are drug addicts and drunk people around that place.
There are like drugs that you can find on the floor sometimes.
People around the state that smoke and it makes it stink.
The negative bit about Hounslow is fly tipping.
I think the leadership is very poor, and they are really disorganized, and they don't help like adults and children and families that are in need.
Knife crimes and stuff like this, and all gangs, and basically bad interference with the council.
I'm afraid of people with knives and bullying.
Yeah, I'm kind of scared of knife crime.
We need to also solve knife crime because I see so many children, so many friends go into knife crime and they don't make it out. They take drugs, they literally destroy themselves internally, and it's very distressing to see. We need to start acting.
There's too many people dying around here and getting stabbed over needless things.
There is a lot of crime. Like just the other day, my friend's house got robbed, and nothing was done about it. The police came, did a little check, and then they just went, and they never found who did it.
But like at night, I don't walk here alone. No way. I just don't feel safe here. That's one kind of thing. And you always kind of hear something that's happened down the road, and you're like, ooh.
I think there should be like more street lighting in areas that prevents knife crime.
We could improve a bit, ecosystems and everything around here.
There's a lot of litter in Hounslow.
The area is a recipe for disaster. If you look over there, there's a bottle and some plastic rubbish.
Yeah, people don't really take care of this area. They just throw it on the floor. They don't care if there's bins around or nothing.
There's a lot of litter bins, but there's not as much like recycling bins. You have to find some places if you're wanting to recycle.
I feel like there could still be a lot done in this borough. For example, there's not enough youth services, there's not enough support for young people, especially when it comes down to mental health.
I think what could be improved about the area is recycling. So I remember a couple of months or years back, there was a rumour in the papers that the bins that they use for recycling, they don't actually take to recycling, everything goes to landfill. I think more effort could be done, especially on the high street. Behind me over there, towards the end of the high street, often there's a lot of rubbish, particularly on the weekends. More could be done.
I don't like the fact that there's a sewage work next door. So when the smell comes, and it's quite annoying.
A lot of homeless people come approach me and try and get money off me, which is quite discomforting.
My fears for the area as a whole is that we might not be doing enough, and so all this work and effort and time and money isn't really having an outcome.
Something that I would like to say to a leader is probably to get involved in the community things that we do, because the more that they're involved, the more people will be able to approach them.
Improve safety, get police standing to see, and start checking kids if they have knives, drugs, anything.
if there was a lot more clubs and activities for different people, because like there are a lot of different likes and such as sports, art, crafts, like all that.
There's so many things in place right now in Hounslow that are not allowing people to socialise with each other, and that's one thing that I hate. People need to socialise, not just youngs with young people, older with older people, but actually intergenerational things.
Clean the environment and make sure that no one does fly tipping.
I think they should add more security to all the shops to check if there's like people carrying knives.
I think have more of an active role within the community. I feel as though it's only around voting time you get people who knock on your doors and say, oh hi, I'm from so and so, we're representing this constituency. So I think have more of an active presence in your community, make sure people know who you are, make sure the young people know who you are, because a lot of young people are too shy to go to them. So if you come to them, they'll say, okay, maybe I can talk to them about our issues in our community and really bridging that gap.
Because like everyone's really outgoing, there's a little bit of violence and like maybe a lot of drugs, but I feel like that can be fixed already. Like maybe they should put out a little bit more police patrol and that's it.
You should put a cover on the football and basketball pitch, because it always gets so wet and the people always litter on it.
To actually try and put some help in to stop knife crime and actually kind of stop pollution going around.
Make this area more friendly to disabled people and let people recognise disabled people more.
Try to increase security in buildings so people don't exit with knives.
It would be do your job, because quite frankly, so many people are getting paid lots of money that could be going towards other services in this borough. They're getting paid and they're not even doing their job.
To plant more trees around the area.
Try more to create Hounslow, make it more of a cleaner place and encourage more youth activities.
Fix up, do your part, do your role, because I think everyone else in the community is trying to do the best they can do, but there's only so much power that they have. So I think the people that do have power, they need to sit down, have a conversation and do their role.
They should reinstate a neighbourhood watch. I think that they should be getting hiring people to clean up all this rubbish, clean up all this mess, and putting strict regulations against all these people who just chuck rubbish around.
I'd say well done, the community is quite good, just maybe improve the security area a little bit more. People have been like throwing stones at the security cameras, so they're out, so maybe you can introduce more and more security and more like of the police getting involved too.
Less flats, we've got enough flats, it's a really crowded area here.
Kind of like put more cameras, because in some places there's like damp areas where there'll be like kind of bad people.
I want to see people coming together, and because if you look at it, we don't know who we really are until we start talking.
I would say to clean up your act, because people need it now. Everyone should like pick up the rubbish and throw them in the bin.
To plant more greens and to plant more trees so that we have more oxygen and that we can like leave all that smoking behind and things like that.
To make a better society for people who live here, to make it more safe so they can walk the streets without having fear of being attacked or being assaulted.
Crack down on the crime, like add more money to the police force and stuff so they get there quicker and less people have to die needlessly.
I think they're doing a pretty good job, to be honest.
Listen to young people, their views should be taken on board. We have so much to say, but we never get the platform to actually talk about it.